Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Let us introduce ourselves. My name is Rafi Pujilestari and my partner is Alfi Hasanati Ikhlasi. We are going to discuss about our article today in this presentation time. And our article entitled Investigating English Teaching Process Through Communicative Language Teaching Approach Towards Student Speaking Skill. And this is a qualitative study at Enter English Center, one of the course in Cilegon City. I, as the first presenter, and my partner Alfias Nati Ikhlasi as the second presenter. Before we go into our main result, we want to discuss about the background of this research. We got some point as the background of this research. The first one, we look that communication skill is the one of the essential soft skill that should be improved for all people in this globalization era. And there was some supporting other supporting skills like communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and also creativity. This statement is stated by Mingo et al. So we also look that in this globalization era, communication in foreign language is very needed because it is like a medium for us to communicate with other people, so we can fulfill our need as a human. However, we got a weakness in speaking, especially because they have a low capability in communication. It is because of some factors, but one of them is in traditional classroom in many schools, occasionally the teachers still use the only source of the knowledge for students due to one-way learning used by educators. So the educators just give the theories, the knowledge to the students, and not give the um, the opportunity for them to practice their own English. So this is there is the one of the method teaching method like the one of approach is it called communicative language teaching that can become the one of the effective method for the educator to teach the students until they can improve their own capability in speaking. Richard stated that communicative language teaching can be defined as the set of principles about purpose of language teaching, student style, student facilities, and activities in the classroom, the role of teacher and the learner in the classroom. So in this point, we also notice and we also highlight that for preparing students' capability, the educators hold the important role. So the educators also have to know and observe about the need analysis from the students and what is the learning style from the students itself, so that the teacher can choose um, the teachers can choose the appropriate materials for them and appropriate methodology, and then the teacher also can maximize the opportunity for students to practice their own speaking skill. And then in this research, we're going to discuss about two kind of aspects. The first one is speaking skill, and the second one is communicative language teaching approach, as the one of the approach that used in Enter English Center as the place or the population that we conducted our observation or investigation. So we are going to the speaking skill first. According to Panuju, he said that 75% of human time used for communication. So communication becomes one of the crucial thing in our life. Therefore, communication includes a fundamental activities that should be required by every single human for fulfilling their needs. And then Harman also highlighted and supported the statement from Panuju, who said that speaking is the capability to deliver the idea orally. So it is not only about knowledge of the language features, but also the capability to process the information and the language at that time. So we're also going to this slide. This slide discuss that there was some difficulties that faced by the students in speaking skill or in delivering their idea orally. The first one is because the students has a lack of confidence in speaking due to the criticism from another learner, or even teacher about their own speaking performance. So they have a big scary about criticism itself, because there are many teacher or many students who give the negative statement about their own performance in teaching. And the second one, they also has the a lack of interest and unfamiliar topic, because the student also stuck in speaking and they don't get the opportunity in speaking itself. And the second one, lack of participation in discussion, because uh, sometimes when we look to the general classroom, there were many students uh, who too dominated in the class, but at the same time, there were some students too who has the lack of participation in the discussion. So they just speak very little, or maybe they don't speak or deliver their idea at all. And the last one, they also face a lack of motivation. They don't have the awareness about the importance of practice in English. So they just limit their self with improving English as the one of the needed in our life. For the next one, we are going to move to communicative language. And the second one, we are going to discuss about communicative language teaching approach as the one of the approach that we observe and we investigate in this research. So, in recording to theoretical perspective, a communicative language teaching or SLT approach has the goal to promote the communicativeness of the goal of the language learning itself. So to maximize the function of a language by give a lot of opportunity for them to practice their own English. So here, Richard also in his book, he said that communicative language teaching can be understood as the set of principles about the goal of the language learning, classroom activities that best facilitate learning, and also the roles of teachers and partners in the classroom. So there were some characteristics from communicative language teaching classroom. The first one, the classroom activities describe the real communication that supports the learning process. And the second one, in communicative language teaching classroom, the classroom activities are used for providing the meaningful tasks that support the learning process. And the last one is the students has the argument or the perspective that language is meaningful for communication in real life situation. So when it comes to the real life communication, they can practice their own English as fluent as possible as well as possible. So here there are some interactive methods that can be used for teachers in improving the engagement in the classroom, such as role play, drama or theater, debate, broadcasting, and also talk show or news anchor. And then here we are going to the methodology of this research. I will explain from the research method or the research method of this research. We use descriptive qualitative approach as our research today, as our research in this research. The place of this research is in Enter English Center. It is located in Cilegon City, and we conducted this research at 7th until 13th of 2024. And then the population of this sample is the tutors and the students of Enter English Center itself, and we take the sample from this research, and the sample of this research is two students and one tutor at Enter English Center. The instrument that we use of this research is observation as the primary data and interview as the secondary data. And the last one for data collection and data analysis. The first one, we try to observe and investigate the classroom activities and also the capacity from the students and the engagement, like the vibes from the classroom itself and the result of the classroom activities at the end of the classroom activities from 7th until 13th January 2024. it is as the primary data. So we want to support it and strengthen our data by conducting the interview towards the student and the teacher, and um, to know the appropriateness from our observations. We also do the triangulation by rechecking and asking to the students and to the teacher about um, what the argument and the perspective from the researcher, so that we combine and collaborate the result of the observation as the primary data and the interview as the secondary data. So that's um, the presentation from me as the first presenter. So the next aspect is result and discussion that will be presented by my partner or sister Alfi Hasanati Ikhlasi. The time is yours.
Okay, the next slide is research and discussion. From the research that conclude by the research, the main research saw the Enter English Center provides the English material from the student by using various interactive techniques based on opportunity for students to practice their English skill and respond to others' ID to conversation and presentation. The conversation was started in the form of the real life situation. Therefore, the student will know about the opportunity preps and sentences that are using different situation. Yes, the next slide. In the learning process, one of the techniques used by the tutor in the role play in this activity, students are required to act to be the question roles and provide the opportunities keep while the role play. The role play was presented with various situations such as interview activity, selling a bargaining activity in the market, ordering the food and the beverage in the restaurant. And the observation result about role play technique that used at the Enter English Center support the previous study from the questionnaire in the his research. In the researchers found that role play activity becomes on the effect way to improve student motivation and the enthusiasm in the practice their speaking skill. Secondly, there is a depth on the one of methodology in the teaching at Enter English Center. In this method, the teacher will divide students into two groups. Include the student get the opportunity to discuss several problems, include expecting and declining other respective. The student will get the response from the other student and share the perception about many times. Then, in the turn out, this statement support the previous theory from the Tomlinson that a strong communicative approach is based on the providing student with language use experience as the primary means of the learning language. As in this approach, from the example, students speak to learning rather than learning to speak. In addition, in Enter English Center, the tutor provide the platform from the student to improve their confidence and the brief and the speaking by different ways such as new, not, and also this classroom activity requires students to become broadcast reporters and the hosts of the television or the podcast. From the observation result, in the show that the talk and news other project in the effect way to improve student speaking skill, then it support the previous student from the Abdul. In the research, the researchers found a result that broadcasting project becomes an active method to motivate student significantly and the student enthusiasm and the speaking skill at the classroom. Then one of the most popular technique that's used in the Enter English Center is using drama of the theaters names Anastasia. These, these theaters come from Russian kingdom story. In the theater, each student gets on the role and makes their own scripts and guided by tutor. The student will memorize the script and do the improvising from the script. In this classroom activity, student needs to be concerned about their acting and expression. This methodology is also suitable for the students who have a kinesthetic learning style. Therefore, this method becomes one of effective way to train the brain in the thinking with the English and improving student. And improving student capability in speaking moreover by the various activity in the classroom. Students will feel happier and more consistent in the study to the competitive and the interesting improvement. Okay, the tutor use the effective methodology with the theme Sustainable Development Goals, where students become the volunteer that report and discuss a solution about various problems in the world to improve the quality of the humanity, self and property and environment protection. In this activity, students also respond and review the solution and idea that already given by the other student. As the volunteer, this methodology can improve student critical thinking and the problem solving skills.
Okay, thank you so much for Sister Alfie as our second presenter. So, for the next chapter, we are going to the conclusion chapter. From this research, we take the conclusion into 3 points. The first one, the researcher claimed that English as the international language for communication become the one of the crucial capability for people, and all our people need to improve their self, especially in oral communication, because it is very needed and important in communication, especially in the real life. And the second one, the researcher get the point that communicative language teaching approach is the one of the effective approach for improving students' speaking skill, because in communicative language teaching approach, in Enter English Center, the English tutor also use the various creative and interactive activities to engage the students' enthusiasm. For example, like role play, debate, anchor, news anchor, drama, and etc. And from the statement from the students and the tutor, this kind of activities can improve the confidence and this fluency from the students, so that the students will be more ready to face the real life communication by practicing their own English. And the last one, in short, we also can get the conclusion here that communicative language teaching approach successfully help the students in increasing their own speaking capability from many aspects, including vocabulary mastery, confidence, critical thinking, and also the interactional skill as the one of the important skill in communication. Maybe that's the research presentation from us. We are sorry if there were many mistakes in our presentation. Thank you so much. And the last one, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.